the spring came to our valley. Fresh wind is making my appetite grow. Why not make some shawarma? I'll do it like we used to for centuries on our land. No, I'm not going to leave anything out of the recipe. Those beautiful blossoming trees make this event far more pleasant. I've got this round piece of wood, a kind of a wheel. It used to be used to hold cables, but I painted it blue and gave it a kind of a sky-coloured look. Now I've decided it will serve as an excellent cooking table, solid and really big. It's going to be horizontally adjusted, and I'm going to insert so that it rotates. I want to make sure that it doesn't move an inch. So I'm using this long and strong nail to hammer it into the stump. The rotation bar is connected to a water mill, and because of that, I'll have constant and even rotation through another type of bearing, a tapered bearing. Ah, yeah, it works. If you know how to work, you can use the things you have lying around. I use the piece of coal as a kind of a pencil to mark up further parts that I'm going to install, so I don't need to buy any markers. By the way, using coal instead of a marker doesn't mean I despise progress. The cordless drill makes the job much easier and faster. 7 holes in 1 minute. Buy modern tools, if you have enough money, of course. So these sticks will make a perfect carcass. Just keep in mind, hammer first and then sharpen after. Logical. Clay, wood and water. I have that around all the time for any time I need it. It's free of charge, so these are really kind of presents from nature. So I start to form a wall of a furnace. That's going to keep the heat in. I make it out of clay. Really easy to do it with your hands. So the bearing is already rotating and it's not to stick to the clay. I roughly know already the proportion of water and clay, so it won't run down or maybe fall apart. Ha, a dog knows everything. His time will come soon. Okay, so chicken is ready to have a bath. Water is fast and clean. It's spring, so there's no need to bring it in from the river and to change buckets. One by one, I rinse carcasses and cut off the parts that I don't need, one by one. And then I start to make the carcasses flatter by extracting the bones. This sharp knife is one of my favorite tools. And the dog got its meal, so it's happy too. I'm finished with filleting. Nice and tender, no bones. In fact, not a single one. Onion. The ones that make you cry. Oh, don't cry, you baby, don't you cry. Yeah, my voice isn't great, is it? But that's what I'm singing now. It's very interesting. Perhaps don't cut the onion, but rub it through the grater. I kind of need to have it like a paste. Garlic. I like garlic. In fact, everybody likes garlic. I use bigger holes of the grinder to make sure it's kind of sliced and not into a paste like the onion. Chicken is always good, but you know it's better when it's juicier. So to make it that way, I will add some lamb fat from the tail, and it comes in one big piece. I'm making quite a lot of shawarma. I need quite a lump. I'm going to try to cut it into thin layers. Why thin, you might ask? You'll find out about why I do this later. So I cut the fat in slices and use a wooden hammer to make it transparent. Of course, my knife has to be razor sharp. On one heap goes chicken fillet, and then on the other, sliced fat. Now I'm going to make a marinade. Milk is always good for chicken and meat. It makes them kind of more tender. So I mix onion and garlic with a couple of litres of milk. Next comes tomato paste, paprika, cumin, salt, dried mint leaves, dried basil leaves, thyme, black pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. After this, I stir the mix carefully. So it's time to put the chicken fillet and slices of fat into the marinade. And I do this massaging and rubbing them as I do it. Not only big parts, but small ones go into the bowl as well. It doesn't really matter. So I put together this shawarma machine with a food pillar and support. And then what you have to do is to make a shawarma column. I put fillets on one by one, piercing them through with a sharpened stick. We put fat on as well. Everything is soaked with the tasty marinade. I press down each piece gently to make a really nice solid column. And I even do some cutting to make it neat and tidy. Now it's time to start the fire. I installed this metal construction, a kind of a net, to keep the coal from falling out, and now I'm going to fill it with fuel. I put a lower metallic plate and then screw in the pole, and now the whole assembly process is finished. My water wheel is obviously in a good mood. The shawarma column is starting its rotation. The first thing I do is start cutting off the meat, and it falls down on the plate. Oh, that smell. Oh, it's absolutely divine. You know, to do this job you need a special long knife. The first portion is ready. The process can continue. The coals are still hot, the meat is being grilled from all sides evenly, and the fresh spring air can't make it cool off. The column gets thinner piece by piece as I keep cutting. The melted fat drips down, making everything look tasty. And now I'm just cutting pieces when I think they're ready. A knife and a spoon are quite handy for this. Now I'm going to do the vegetables. I cut tomato and cucumbers into neat slices. Every vegetable has its own bowl, and then come the herbs. I shred the herbs and then put them in a separate bowl as well. Okay, everything is ready to start filling cakes and to make a shawarma. So I take the fresh pita and spread mayonnaise, chicken and vegetables next. I put them in layers, and the herbs are a finishing touch. I carefully roll the pita, and I have to fix it from both sides, one by one, making a nice roll or a pile. So, the last one. I should really be the first to taste it. At least that's what I think. Which piece is better? Oh, The last portions on top of a pita. Super.
Super.
Sports, fresh spring air, crystal clean water, and the table with a shawarma plate. A big one. What could be better?
Evet.